I'm a little bit late to the game when it comes to the uniquely frustrating getting over it with Bennett Foddy. This game is absolutely insane, and if you've spent any time at all on YouTube the past few months, you've probably seen it. I thought I'd try and play some of the knockoffs and the clones instead of the actual version. This is Sexy Hiking, a game that influenced getting over it. If you take a look in your app store on the iPhone, you'll see that there's an absolute multitude of rip-offs and clones and knockoffs of getting over it. Including, bizarrely enough, one called Trump Climby? Strange. First on the menu is Try Getting Above It. Now, I find this one strange because the production value looks fairly high considering the type of rip-off game it is. Also, what I found odd about this game was the fact that it was actually quite fun. This one also had the least amount of advertising, which I really appreciated. Later on in the video you'll see that there was quite a lot of the games that I had to edit and chop video around to get rid of the advertising. Some of them it would pop up literally every 10 to 15 seconds. This one also looks the most original to the style of getting over it, apart from the strange claw device that the man is using. In the original Getting Over It, he's using a Yosemite hammer. As you can see to the right of the screen, there's also traps in this game, which I don't believe are present in the original Getting Over It, although I haven't completed it yet. This game definitely still has that frustrating feel to it, that rage-inducing drop right straight down to the bottom. Although, funnily enough, a lot of these rip-offs seem to have levels instead of one continuous path straight up a mountain, which does kind of eliminate a little bit of the raginess. Using the touchscreen also requires a little bit less finesse than the mouse of a PC. Overall, I really quite enjoyed myself on this game. It's a decent free option if you don't feel like shelling out the $4.99 for Bennett Foddy's Getting Over It, although it's definitely worth it. Also, I quite like the character design of this guy. He's like an old circus strongman. Getting stuck in a loop like this of just falling back down to the bottom every time you make the slightest bit of movement upwards can be a bit annoying, but that's kind of the point of the game. Surprisingly enough, I might actually keep this game and try and complete it. It was very addictive, much like the original Getting Over It. I'm not sure how long the game is, but considering it's free, you can't really complain. The next game we're going to play is Getting Over It with Robinson, which is quite a bold rip-off of a name. Straight off the bat, I'm going to tell you that I really didn't enjoy this one. It did have some unique features. I kind of liked the character design. He's sitting in his little box with some beer bottles or wine bottles. I also liked the fact that you could lengthen the hammer, although I'm not really sure what purpose that served. This game also had obstacles and traps in, much like the previous one. The objective seemed to be to find a crown. I'm not too sure if there's any kind of narrative or story, but yeah, not really that impressive. The amount of advertising pop-ups in this game was also atrocious, literally every time I go to a different screen. Also, I'm not sure if actually being underneath obstacles like these actually even did anything. See? Yeah, I think it's all just there for show. This next game is called The Challenges of Getting Over It. Original. For some reason you can choose from a few different characters. This kind of Lara Croft ripoff and a football hooligan of some sort. I'm not too sure why, because on the app it seems to be like a mixture of the girl from Frozen or someone from Game of Thrones that you're playing as. No idea why. Maybe it's an unlockable character later on in the game, although I don't know how you'd have the patience to play through it that long. Instead of being exciting and fun, kind of frustrating, this game is just straight up frustrating. There's no kind of sensitivity to the controls, it's so unwieldy, and it's so ridiculously slow. I literally couldn't get past the first level. It was just too much. It was boring, and not the good type of boring, like a B movie. This next bizarre clone is Trump Climby, Trump in a Cauldron, and then Fred Durst, Father Christmas, a snowman, this guy, this guy, this guy. Interesting character selection. Kind of. Yeah. Maybe it's just me being awful at video games, or maybe it's just a really badly designed game, but the controls on this one were off. Just straight from the beginning, they were off. It felt like it kept switching between which way I was supposed to drag across the screen, and also there was no dedicated place for me to place my fingers and move. It was just anywhere on the screen would control the hammer, which at first I thought might be a plus point, but in the end it just ended up being a bit too confusing. Yeah, I didn't think much of this one. I kind of like the art style. It was a little bit minimalistic, but possibly too minimalistic. Not much going for it, this one. Wouldn't really recommend it. Although it's free, so, you know. Eh? I'm going to save you the torture of watching me try and actually complete this level, because, spoiler alert, I didn't. I just went straight back to the title screen so I could see him dance again. That's better. Overall, the first game I played, Try Getting Above It, was actually my favourite of the lot. It had the most original name, it wasn't too close to Getting Over It, and I just liked the graphics, I liked the way it looked. I mean, it's quite obviously still a clone, but it was interesting. At the moment on the screen, for some reason I'm trying to break the game by going backwards at the start of a level. It did kind of work, and this is the only thing that I found wrong with the game. I got stuck in the floor and flailed around endlessly. Well, not endlessly, I just quit the game, but still. Anyway, I'm going to call it for now. Thanks for watching. If you feel like liking, commenting, subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. This is a fairly new channel, so hopefully you can grow with me. Bye.